we're talking about woke 1.0, right?
Fuck Pam Bondi.
The weakest that Donald Trump has ever been. Look at this Trump.
But we will not retain our democracy with the Democratic Party taking money from Palantir.
Heated rivalry って知ってます
The most woke 1.0 ass moment that I've ever seen.
Taking donations from AIPAC.
When I see the little Benjamin Netanyahu devil at the table, I'm like, you don't see that Hitler?
Joseph Robinette Brandon, an avowed ultra-Zionist? What?
The lowest Donald Trump has ever been in either of his 2 terms.
Filmed on phones, on the ground, and we're watching the Trump administration lie about it.
Bit of an embarrassment, isn't it, to lose to the woke Greens?
Resistance is the only way to usher in true change. History will tell you that.
Hakeem Jeffries is compromised and he needs to resign. And he is a fascist collaborator.
Hey, you, there, you. Yeah. Did you know that woke is so back? Welcome to Matriarchal Type. I will be your goddess for today, and I'm going to tell you about how woke is so back, baby. Woke 2.0 is here and is here to stay. Unabashedly, unashamedly, cringe, here and woke. So today I'm going to give you a bunch of examples as to why, evidence to prove my thesis, and then I'm just going to revel in the good news that's happening because God knows, goddess knows, that there is enough bad stuff going on. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a scabology as much as I can, and we're going to talk about why woke is back, why it's undeniable, and how a bunch of these like non-political podcasts, centralist, liberalist, or like left-leaning but not so much, are now just outright having to say with their full chest, like, fuck ICE, down with fascism, someone should do it, like all of these things. Let's get started, and thank you so much for being here. Okay. I'm going to take this off because it looks ridiculous. Not me like making it from the flowers from my wedding, thinking it was going to slay. Okay, we're going to put this back. I think she only comes out in like special occasions. What do you think? Because of how bad things have gotten, because of the rise of fascism, because of Trump's administration and elsewhere in the world. War now in Iran, well, Israel and the US just blatantly attacking Iran, I should say. It's just become undeniable that people have to like comment on things. And so why woke is back for me is because there are these kind of like lukewarm liberal podcasters and stuff and celebrities, which we'll go into and stuff, that like usually wouldn't comment on stuff but now are having to, and equally those that remain not commenting on stuff have become shunned for doing so. So for example, the Berlin Film Festival that's happening while I'm filming this, there are so many famous people that are just not commenting on politics. They're actively choosing not to talk about politics, even though the Berlin Festival is so innately political. It always has been. But those people are being shunned and almost laughed at for not having the backbone to just look outside their window and see what the hell is going on. Over the past year or two, there are, of course, so many examples of people that have become more political, people with the platform using it for good. A huge example to me is the I've Had It podcast.
We're already seeing signs in Texas that it is a code blue alert. The Democratic turnout is unbelievable. So the MAGA freakout is full blown right now. The New Republic, Trump's ICE is quietly stockpiling weaponry, and it should alarm us all.
Why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason.
So we have ICE that he's using in blue states right now, Minnesota, to test the waters. He is going to use ICE, who we now know, according to the New Republic, is stockpiling weapons. And I want you to think about the insanity of this. The federal government is stockpiling weapons to use against its own citizens.
Now, I've been aware of them for a hot minute, but the way that, what's her name, Jennifer? The way that she is now the beacon of anti-IPAC is just, it's chef's kiss. It's beautiful to see.
Hakeem Jeffries is compromised and he needs to resign. And he is a fascist collaborator. There's no question that Chuck Schumer is as well, but we will not retain our democracy with the Democratic Party taking money from Palantir. We are not going to retain our country with the Democratic Party taking donations from AIPAC.
It feels like you're like wine mum that got political and you're just like, yeah, mum, actually, yes, that's true. The way that she goes on these anti-AIPAC rants, and any Democrat that doesn't adhere to the modern Bernieification, is so good to see. I just watched this recent clip of her not only talking about the anti-eye pack situation of it all, but also like anti-Palantir. And it's like, it's crazy to see this podcaster that's been a bit lukewarm, been a bit centralist for so long, now talking about like Peter Thiel and Palantir.
Elections are non-negotiable. So let's see what the Democrats are going to do about it. DCCC rakes in millions from Palantir lobbyists as protests target the company's ICE surveillance tools. They're taking money from Palantir, Alex Karp, and Peter Thiel, the coked up billionaires that don't pay taxes, that want to dismantle American democracy, and our opposition party is taking money from Palantir and feeding it to other Democrats? Are you serious right now?
These high-end billionaire villains of society are now like common, like tabletop names, right? And I do think this is great because I think we're one step closer in all of this understanding like capitalism is bad, patriarchy is bad. Like these conversations are just a little bit closer to home, and I think that's such a good thing. Shouts out to Jenny. Love you so much, girlie. I wish my mum was more like you. Let's say that. Another example is Brittany Broski. Now, I love Brittany Broski. She's been an internet, star for years now, but she's always had a little bit of backlash for not talking on certain things, especially as someone, I think the reason she gets such backlash or has had such backlash is because in her podcast, for example, the things she talks about as a media persona is always very intellectual. She's like, her deep dives into music and lyricism and film, photography, like filmography and like all of those forms of media. She's so able to be critical and think deeply and draw nuance from things. Previous novels she's read, classics and stuff. And so it's hard to not expect her to apply the same things to modern situations, because a lot of people will use the excuse of like, I don't really know much about it, so I can't make a comment, especially with like Palestine, Israel. But if you are aware of so much and able to draw so much information from other contexts and texts, it's hard to be like, well, why can't you do that now? Why can't you just say what everyone else can see? However, her recent podcast, obviously with everything going on in ICE in Minnesota and everything in the US, she opened up with this like preamble kind of thing. She was moving at the time, so that it's just like a voice note.
The continued, targeted, unethical, complete brute violence of masked ICE agents across the United States has only gotten worse. ICE has killed 9 people this year. It's not even February yet. We're watching the indisputable evidence filmed on phones, on the ground, before our eyes, and we're watching the Trump administration lie about it. They're lying about it. Their goal is to exhaust you. Their goal is to make you feel powerless. And like this is all inevitable, but it's not. And you're not powerless. Resistance is the only way to usher in true change. History will tell you that. Community-led protests are happening all across the U.S., and I urge you to participate in any way you feel is right for you. No small thing is too small. I know this feels so heavy, and I'm right there with you, but I need you to stay strong, stay hopeful. I'm here with you, and they will not win.
She doesn't hold back. She's like, 9 people have been killed by ICE. Like, this is like, we have to act upon this. Like, and it's like, okay, cool. We're finally seeing what we need to see. Genuine talk about things that is happening and affecting people. As someone that's had this channel for a few years now and like has seen so much of this coming, people I spoke to knew this was going to happen. People ignored them. People always ignoring people on the left. Like this, like I think at the very least, let's not give people their flowers when they are joining the table. If that makes sense. Like I don't think that's going to be inducive of positive conversations if people come late to the table and then we shun them away. Like so. Hats off to Brittany Broski. We're finally at a point where like, and I don't think you can go back from that. Like, I don't think you can become someone that on your podcast shouts like fuck ICE and then not talk about the other stuff. I think it's a lot harder to do so because the expectation is there. So I, for one, am quite happy to see this with Brittany Broski. I think it's a good sign of good things to come. Now, an even bigger curveball that I just love to see is the Bold and Beautiful podcast with Trixie Mattel and Katya. Now, As an OG RuPaul's Drag Race watcher, I used to watch it with my roommates back when I shared a flat in London. Such a good growth to see them both. They've been through a whole lot, and this podcast of theirs every week, they just have a chat, and it's some of the most entertaining content on the internet at the moment. And they have always said, and a lot of people say, like, this isn't a political podcast, we don't want to comment on that kind of stuff. And also the, you know, a kind of somewhat understandable excuse of like, we want to give people escapology from everyone else, from everything else that's happening. We want to give them space away from that to take their mind off it. And I do think there's room for that. It's a privilege to be able to delve into that as well. Let's not forget to like say that. But also for that aside, that as it were. Is that someone coming into my house? In Japan, they don't like knock on your door and wait for you to come. They just like walk into your front door bit. It's really, really odd. Maybe that's just here. But so then like people just walk into my house like, hi. Konnichiwa. Anyway, Bold and the Beautiful. So they've always had slightly political outbursts and stuff, mainstream stuff. Like when the fires were happening in LA, they filmed it like driving away. You can't not talk about that, you know? Katya has always talked about how she watches Democracy Now! And they've always, you know, Trixie Mattel is a bit more of a Pod Save America kind of gal.
When I watch Democracy Now! Every morning because I don't know how to get news from any other outlet that's visual that will send me through a tailspin. I mean, this sends me through a tailspin, but it's just like, it's like the most, from what I can gather, it's just the news without all the graphics and the crap.
Right.
But Mary, when I see the little Benjamin Netanyahu devil at the table, I'm like, you don't see that Hitler?
Yeah.
You don't see that Hitler?
They love it.
Hitler's right at the table, at your table. They love it.
Girl, they love it.
They're just annihilating the whole fucking population of Gaza, and then they just can't wait to build like luxury high rises.
Luxury hotels.
They cannot wait to build that have their little Riviera on the strip. The little Christian fuckface. Fuckface.
Oh, Queen. Queen.
Fat Queen.
Cool. Okay. Everyone's at their own place. Let's meet them where they are. In a recent episode, they dunked on Pam Bondi's, I think it's their congressional hearing, so hard that there is a clipped version of that on the Trixie and Katya Clips channel. Like it's become so mainstream that their political rants now are also farmed for content. Like, and that's so funny. We love to see it. And they hold nothing back. They are hating on this woman.
And you know who else? Fuck Pam Bondi.
Oh,
fuck Pam Bondi.
You want me to jerk the wheel?
Fuck Pam Bondi. I swear. Fuck. I wake up every day, my eyes open, I look at my life, and I go, fuck Pam Bondi.
You know what I had to do
Fuck
morning?
her.
You know what I had to do this morning? I had to Google, what is an attorney general? Because I was like, surely it's not Pam Bondi. Yes, it is Pam Bondi.
The Department of Justice. The people interested in justice.
The attorney for the government.
Crazy.
For the United States.
Yeah.
Pamela Joanne Elizabeth Bondi.
Yeah.
Go.
Fuck her. Fuck her. I fucking hate her. I fucking hate her. What a fucking criminal. What a violent criminal. I'm going to remember that.
Bitch.
It's just so great to, it's not great to see. It's sad that it's necessary, but like, it's so wild to see this like mainstreamification of, and this is like deep politics. This is some like boring congressional US hearing. It's just too funny.
I don't want to like get into it, but I'm thinking about this a lot. People I'm related to, friends, colleagues, fans, all of you who have been complicit or voted for this shit, I will never forget about it until the day I die. You will never be off the hook. It is not a footnote about you. It is a huge flashing sign over your face for the rest of your life.
And even when she dies, I will be resurrected from the grave posthumously, and I won't still not forget about it.
This is one of the main points of why I'm saying all of this, because it brings into the spotlight all of the so-called political, so-called on-the-scene people that are silent in these times, that they don't dare say anything. And it's like, well, if Trixie Mattel can say fuck Pam Bondi, then so can you. I don't know. I find it entertaining on like multiple levels. Like I'm there with them making fun, and then I'm also like, this is so surreal. This drag queen is dragging Pam Bondi, and I'm here for it. It's so funny. And then obviously I watch a lot of Hassan Piker. I would say it's probably one of my main forms of media I watch at the moment, and he often covers the same thing. Recently he's been saying woke is so back, and that was kind of the inspiration for this video, because in my circles as well, I see, I mean, he's watching more of the like male Twitch streamer vibe. I think that guy Charlie Penguin something.
The most recent batch of Epstein files came out a couple hours ago.
Thank you.
Millions of files, so people are still combing through them. But what they are finding is alarming. Trump's name, of course, is all over these files. His name appears more in these Epstein files than Green Eggs and Ham appeared in the fucking Green Eggs and Ham Dr. Seuss book. His name is everywhere with numerous allegations about terrible, awful things, including this FBI report that claims Trump has been compromised by Israel, which anyone who's been paying attention to this administration shouldn't really be surprised at. I don't think anyone heard that and recoiled in their chair going, what?
Wait, what? You mean to tell me that the Mossad pedophilia blackmail operation that works hand in glove with CIA also may have compromised perhaps the most pro-Israel president of our lifetime, a lifetime which also includes Joseph Robinette Brandon, an avowed ultra-Zionist? What? I'm shocked. Let me tell you how shocked I am.
Those things are mainstream in their own way. It's happening too with the girlies. Do you know what I mean? Like the Do We Know Them podcast, Lily is talking about her own little Epstein journalism happening, and it's happening everywhere. And I'll get to my point more towards the end of this video, but what does that mean? What does that mean for the future administration? What do I think will happen? And I've got some really good things that I think will happen. Obviously, it's a tragedy that we're having to get there, and there's still so much pain that's happened, and unfortunately we're going to have to live through. I do consider this the pendulum swinging right back, and I think that's, I mean, at this point, it's all we can hope for, And this isn't an entirely new thing. I mean, even the edited clip channel Rent Free, if you know, some of the wildest content out there. Even they, if you look at their older stuff, it's pop culture, it's celebrity culture, it's Kardashian stuff. Until recently, the last year or two, it was Kamala Harris and Trump debates. It's politics. It's Biden, droopy Biden. The same application of funny, high edited pop culture tea content applied to US politics, and I just think that's hilarious. Rent Free lives rent free in my head, and I think that's obviously the point, but it's just a different kind of content. My husband hates it. When I put it on, he's just like, what is this? So what does this mean? I mean, I think it's very clear to say the politicization of pop culture, I would even go as far as to say, is here to stay. I can't see this backtracking. I can't see us all just putting our heads back under the sand. And I do think that there is a potential, at least, for this to evolve into much more class consciousness, much more understanding of issues happening across the world, and even down to the line of liberation of oppressed minorities. You could argue it kind of started with BLM and a lot of people that were unaware of the injustices happening in the world, myself included, joining the table where they're at and realizing okay, actually, I don't want this oppression to continue. Our generation, especially the millennial generation and those surrounding them, we're taught in school about injustice and how everyone is equal and that's fair. And then if you grow up into the world and you realize that's not the case, you can't help but be left with the sense of well, why shouldn't we all be equal? Of course we should. So for me, I think this isn't going to go anywhere, and I think that's a fantastic thing. I personally am here for it. I think we should try and aim for equality for everyone as much as possible. Now that will mean changing the current systems and the status quo we have, and I think so for those centralist, neither left or right, independent takes that are very much the system is broken and we can fix it, are going to have to kind of the left pipeline is to be very much made aware that no, the system is working exactly as intended and has to stop. So people are going to have to kind of come to the understanding that a lot of these systems have to be completely changed out, and because they are working as intended to oppress a certain group of people so that other people can flourish. And I think there's no other key example of that other than the billionaire class that have more wealth. Isn't it crazy now? They're just continually getting more and more wealth and everyone else is poor. Until that has been reversed, I don't think this politicization of mainstream pop culture and media is going to change. And I would even go as far as to say there's mainstream news media and stuff that continue to pretend that status quo is maintained is becoming so quickly out of date. Like, more people get their news now from independent media than they did before. You know, when I grew up, I watched my dad sit and, you know, watch BBC after dinner and get his like daily dose of news. Even though we're at different political ends of the spectrum, we both agree that mainstream media is just saying a certain amount and sometimes not the truth, or definitely not the full truth. And whether you're on the right or on the left, people are coming to the same conclusion. So I think that gives a lot of hope towards where we go long term. One point I will say, though, is that the politicization is very polarizing, as we've seen. And either there is a grow in, well, at the same time that there is a rise in left-leaning voices, there is also a rise in right-leaning as well. And this isn't news. We've known about this. I covered this before my break about the Sanseito Party in Japan, about reform in the UK. However, I would say that there are more left-leaning voices than there are right. So an example of this is the recent Green Party win in the UK.
This is a big one. So if you're watching from anywhere else in the world, today there is a by-election in the UK in the Manchester constituency of Gorton and Denton. A new era in which the Labour Party's dominance as the main party of the political left, relatively within British politics, and the Conservative Party's position as the main party of the political right, which has already been waning for some time in British politics, is failing. And there is every chance that this election ends with the Labour Party and the Conservative Party, the parties that we think of as just the two big political parties, right? If anyone tells you that, you know, until very recently, we have had this notion that the UK politics is kind of a two-party system, with Labour relatively to the left, the Conservatives relatively to the right. The two parties of that two-party system could be third and fourth.
Mr. Goodwin, a bit of an embarrassment, isn't it, to lose to the woke Greens, isn't it? Proud patriot, not able to win a British seat. Bit embarrassing, Mr. Goodwin, wouldn't you say? Not at all. Well, you've lost to the Greens, sir. You've lost to the woke Greens. You can't beat the Greens. What a joke. A proud patriot can't win a British seat. My goodness, to the Greens of all people. You're going to moan about it on GB News? You're going to moan about it on GB News? How much of a loser you are?
Fantastic win, well done. And the first time the Green Party have ever won a by-election. And I've voted Green since I could vote my whole life in the UK, because for me it was always clear that the earth not burning is the priority number one. So even before all of the mad like political stuff that's happened, like I was aware that climate change was happening when I first could vote. Like I'm going to say a long time ago. A long time ago when I first voted. So, but it's great to see now that the Green Party have changed from this like sideline, throw your vote away party to winning in by-elections. I think this is an amazing sign for things to come. They beat Reform, which are also the Reform, the far-right party, taking place, you know, in exchange of the Conservatives that have done nothing. We can't deny their popularity. Just like with the Sanseito Party in Japan and all across everywhere, the far right are gaining popularity. But it is my belief that the lack of change that the far right offers is going to become a lot more taken note of than the change proposed by the left. And what I mean by that is, in the UK, obviously the Green Party beat the Reform, even over the fact that the Reform are more popular, and the Labour Party and Conservatives, which would be the equivalent in the UK of like the Democrats and Republicans, they both did terribly. Labour in power now in the UK have done nothing but bad, and so people that actually voted for them for left-leaning change are like, well, no, we need an actual left-leaning party to change things. And so we've seen Greens win, and I think that's just incredible. I think that's their first main political win, and I mean like win, like it's just tea. It's tea. Zohran Mamdani as well, that not only has become the mayor of New York, but is consistently held to a higher standard by those around him, you know, clowning on socialism, and yet he continues to bring in results. Is he perfect? No. But is he doing a world of good? Yes. And I'm so here for the snow-plowed 6 inches memery. Honestly, if that's where we are in life, that's where we are, okay? And that's okay. Even the Winter Olympics, which, of course, Olympics have been political for certain reasons throughout history. You could argue, though, that this politicization of the Olympics is reaching a fever pitch because you have the male lad, like locker room. You have, what is it? Kish Patel? I can't remember his name, but the FBI director, like, growing it up in the locker rooms at the same time as you have these like icons, the ice skating champions, the openly queer champions, the female ice hockey. Like, there's this polarization is also present. I feel like the left-leaning side of things, the voices are much more present, and maybe that's cope. Let me know in the comments below if you believe it is, but I think there are more people happy to see some queer representation in ice skating than there are to see the FBI director downing a beer in the locker room. Like, I don't know if that's just me. And what we're also seeing is people on the right regretting their decision. Slowly but surely, people are understanding it's affecting them personally or those ones around them, or they can't live in society like they had hoped after voting for Trump 3 times. I saw an article on Pink News recently about this gay MAGA guy who can't find anyone to sleep with him because no one wants to sleep with someone that's voted MAGA. And I'm like, boo-hoo, I don't care. Cry gay MAGA tears as long as you need to. It also, to me, is a sign of a lack of intelligence. If you are a minority and also voting for the party that is anti-minority, then I don't care what you say. Like, you're unintelligent to me. I'm sorry. Like,
all of you who have been complicit or voted for this shit, I will never forget about it until the day I die.
The Republican Party have never been pro-gay. They never will be. They're going after gay marriage. And it's the Dave Rubins and the closeted, allegedly, in my opinion, closeted Benny Johnsons of the world, that they're the stupidest people to me. Like, you're going to be first to have an issue, and you're going to be first to come crying to the other side when it didn't go your way. And it's like, gosh, yeah, I believe in people having a second chance, but how dumb do you have to be to think it's okay to be a gay Republican in this day and age? It also is so apparent that they have to have some other stake in patriarchy or capitalism or any of these corrupt situations in order to maintain that status of, I am a minority, but I don't care about everyone else, because it's like you have to have some claim into patriarchy or capitalism or stuff like that to be able to maintain that facade. Like Benny Johnson having a wife, or the majority of the kind of like gays for Trump people are white and they have access to whiteness, or etc. etc. Not everyone, but like is a general trend, I would say, that like you can only do that if you aren't completely ostracized from a safe place to be. And for me, it's very telling. It's like, well, if you have that safety, and that means that you're gonna, throw the rest of your other community under a bus, then you're not really trustworthy. So, some final thoughts though, because I do believe it's not all going to be sunshine and rainbows, as it hasn't been before. I don't think suddenly now woke is back, everything's going to be okay. In fact, sadly, I do think we're under the threat of another period of it getting even worse, especially for trans people, for non-white people in general, for any of these marginalized people. ICE isn't going anywhere, sadly. Trump isn't going anywhere unless nature intervenes. And I do think that the fascistic parties doing what they're doing are going to feel this threat of the pendulum swinging the other way. And I worry that someone who has shot up a bank and knows they're going to die if they get caught are going to be forced into acting more recklessly. So I worry that anyone that's pushing for a fascistic change in the world is going to realize that their days are numbered and act out more recklessly than they would have if that weren't the case. Bibi doing what he's doing in Iran, for example. And that does worry me. I don't know to what extent that will be. I think that there is a high chance that Trump will not allow for a midterm or another election for any reason or another. And again, the necessity to do that will incur further strong action, like martial law, or something as drastic as that. And that worries me. Do I think we're over the worst of it? Yeah, no, I don't. But do I think that there is light at the end of this tunnel? Also, yes. Which also means that the work and the activism and the the hard work that people on the front line is doing out there, it does mean something. And I think at the time when a lot of people were losing hope and falling down to, you know, doomerism, to understand that actually our actions are having an effect and it will change things in the future, I think we all needed that wave of hope. I mean, there's a reason why I'm here after 6 months again, you know? But just like the Bald and the Beautiful podcast dunking on Pam Bondi, or Brittany Broski giving resources of how to like get ice out of your town or whatever, the political discussions have hit mainstream. So I think until they're resolved, it's unlikely that they're going to go away. People are going to want to know who is in the Epstein files. They're going to want to know where the millions of missing files are. They're going to want some people to be arrested for the crimes that they've allegedly done in them. And so until these problems go away, I don't think the activism and the politicization of, you know, mainstream podcasts and pop culture is going to go anywhere. So if we keep at it and if we keep doing what we're doing, maybe eventually we can change the world. I don't know. I'm not going to get too crazy big bread tube leftist ending on you, but like, yeah, I'm excited to see this. It brings me a different level of joy to see Trixie Mattel dunk on Trump. It brings me a different level of joy to see the leftification of I've Had It podcast. And it also does put a spotlight on those that haven't quite joined the conversation, which helps bring the question as to why not, which helps us have those discussions. And also, not going to be too cynical about it, but pinpoint where the problems are. Like if there's someone in your family that hasn't talked about these political discussions overtly, it's probably because they're on the wrong side of them and they're embarrassed to say so, like the gay mugger guy that can't have sex. So it draws them out like poison from blood. And I think that that's going to be one of the several necessary steps in order to change things. Not me thinking I was going to not have a very political channel and then a few videos in and I'm like, revolution. I need to chill. I need to take several seats. However, I think maybe we should just wrap it up there. Maybe we'll just wrap it there. Okay, so for anyone that's stuck around, I'm going to just give a quick channel update towards the end of this. As you know, I was away for a while. We were busy. The house DIY isn't going quite as according to plan, but we're getting there. For now, I want to just say I am back. I am going to be giving my full into this, slow and steady though. We're going to be going live soon. I'm going to cover things like pop culture, media culture, LGBTQI plus culture, the zeitgeist and all of those things included. Please do come along for the ride if you would love to. Please do subscribe. We're on our way to 10,000 subs. I really can't wait to get there. I'm really excited. Please do if you can. And share this. If there are videos that resonate with you, that you think, you know what, I think my certain aunt needs to see this, or I think my friend needs to hear this right now, like please do consider sharing it. It means the world to me. I think that to get more eyes on my work is an honor in every way. And if you do want to do more, there is always Patron, and joining as a member, as many of you know, it does help. It does support the channel. It's motivating and it gives us money to buy better equipment and stuff like that. So please consider that as well if you want to. You'll get access to all my backlog, to other benefits as well, early access to what I release, members only content and stuff like that. So please do consider that as well within the means that you have. And thank you to everyone that supported me along the way. Matriarchal is very much back. I'm very much excited. My hair has grown out really long. I'm feeling really, really cute right now. So yeah. I look forward to where this goes, and I love you all so much. What was that? What are we doing? What else are we doing? Oh, and if you want to, please check out some of my other content. I just did a bit of a wrap-up of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I've covered the latest Shia LaBeouf homophobic statement he made in this interview. It was a wild interview, not what I expected. Or if you haven't heard about what's happened with Ned Fulmer recently, one of the Try guys, check that out as well. All latest released on my channel at this point in time. So enjoy. Have a good binge. I love you all so much. Take care of yourselves. Okay, bye for real now. Bye.